Right now, it seems like everyone and their kitchen sink is trying to farm out the new Stasis Rocket Sidearm Tinasha's Mastery from IB Engrams. Being forced to play PvP in Destiny 2 right now is its own level of torture, but trying to beat the RNG slot machines, that is a battle in itself. So that begs the question, is this sidearm worth farming? Let's take a look at what it can do, and we can make a decision from there. First off, Tinasha's is the first of its kind, being the first Stasis element rocket sidearm added to the game, and by being Stasis, it also brings along with it an arguably best perk in slot for Stasis, that being Chill Clip. Chill Clip is your free on-demand gateway to laying darkness debuffs on enemies without having to actually play the Stasis subclass or sacrifice abilities in order to run Stasis-related ones in your Prismatic kit for the same effect. Chill Clip is also far and away the holy grail perk to shoot for on this weapon, as it does multiple things in various ways for build crafting in Destiny. Here is a small breakdown. One shot from Tinasha's slows an enemy. This is good for stunning Overlord champions, crowd control, and additionally 3 shots for Tinasha's will freeze an enemy, which allows you to get free shatter damage, more AoE crowd control damage, and also stuns unstoppable champions or freezes barrier champions in place for an easy kill. Finally, and potentially most importantly, these shots allow you access to some of the strongest fragments in the entire game. The perfect example of this would be Facet of Courage and Facet of Command. Here's some footage of that. Okay, so here we're going to show off Facet of Courage and also talk about Facet of Command, which again is freezing an enemy with 3 shots, but Courage is just simply hitting 1 shot on an enemy, which slows them. Then your Arc, Solar, or Void abilities get increased bonus damage, which in this example is going to be Celestial Nighthawk. And I believe we're going to hit the boss for 803,000 here with our Nighthawks. Let's take a look. And here we're going to shoot just Celestial Nighthawk at the boss to see the damage difference, which I think is going to be 733,000. Now, of course, putting all that aside, it is also a great tool to have for actual Stasis builds as well, like the latest builds to Hunters with Mask of Fealty or Warlocks with Raincoat. So, I think at this point we can definitely say that the weapon is worth grinding for, but while we've covered how good it is and what it can do for build crafting, we haven't talked about what roles I think you should be looking for while farming, so let's do that now. Here's the perk combinations on screen for Tinasha's Mastery. Right out of the gate, we can all just agree that Chill Clip is the best pick for the 4th column, bar none. With that settled, let's talk about the perk 3 column specifically for a second. There seems to be a little bit of confusion going on with what perks are actually good in this slot, and some confusion on why certain perks are good for this weapon in this slot. Let's narrow things down real quick. For middle of the pack, I think any of the following are fine or a good fit. Impulse Amplifier, Loose Change, or even Reverberation. All of them are pretty straightforward, to the point. You know what you're getting and you know what to expect. Pretty simple, right? Now let's talk about what, in my opinion, are the 2 best 3rd column perk options that you can look out for. The number 1 spot is going to go to Air Trigger. This seems to be somewhat divided on by people. Some agree that it's clearly the best pick, and others think it's a joke pick that makes no sense, but let's see what it actually does and set the record straight. There are a few reasons why Air Trigger is the chase perk in this slot, in my opinion. First, Air Trigger does a 2-for-1 job in the slot, as it provides you with not only greatly increased ammo reserves, which mind you are a very sought after want for rocket sidearms, but it also provides you with a built-in airborne outlaw reload. Don't know what I mean? Here's a simple clip showing off the difference between a regular reload and an Air Trigger reload. Before I move on to the second perk I think is the best in slot, I also want to make a mention on what barrel and mag perks you want to go for, especially for an Air Trigger roll. For barrels, and this is basically going to apply for every Tinasha's roll actually, you of course want to go for Velocity, plain and simple. But in the mag slot, it actually slightly differs. If you have an Air Trigger roll, you actually want to go for High Explosive Ordnance as your mag perk. Some might be thinking, why the hell would I want that thing? The reason is because it combines with Air Trigger to give you the maximum amount of ammo you can have on this weapon at a whopping 57 shots with just 1 reserve mod. Now, if you're not in possession of an Air Trigger roll, or your Air Trigger roll does not have high explosives on it, then your best bet becomes Tactical Mag, which is generally considered the best mag perk in the game in most situations. Tac Mag can net you up to 55 shots with the right roll. Appended mag is also okay and give you up to 15 shots in your mag at once, but I do believe in perfect situations that high explosive ordnance and tac mag are the two best options to look out for. Finally, let's talk about the second perk that I was mentioning in the third column. That is going to go to Deconstruct with Chill Clip. It might sound a little odd at first, but this combo actually has some nice synergy with what you're trying to accomplish in the game. Typically, you're going to be using this as a counter of sorts to control enemies, and more specifically, stun or crowd control orange and yellow bar enemies. Well, let me introduce to you a pretty nice interaction with this combo that it has on those enemy types. Deconstruct states, dealing sustained damage, aka multiple shots on an enemy, you will do bonus damage to vehicles and constructs, and also refill ammo from reserves. That last part is something that a lot of people seem to just ignore when they see Deconstruct on a weapon. Basically, what this means is, anytime you're going to be firing your sidearm at a target multiple times, Deconstruct is going to proc and give you bonus ammo from reserves, effectively refilling your mag with more ammo than you started with. And of course, if the thing you're shooting is considered a vehicle or construct, you're also going to be doing bonus damage to it as well. And at this point, here's your friendly reminder that by now you have procced Facet of Courage and can now do bonus damage with your light abilities. Plus, if you have Facet of Ruin on, your Shatter from the freeze will also do a nice chunk as well. And that right there is why I think these two rolls are the best ones to look out for on this weapon. But if your luck sucks and you can't stomach bashing your head in PvP and want to settle for a roll with Impulse Amplifier or Loose Change, I wouldn't blame you, and that's totally fine for a roll. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to discuss. So people might bring up the fact that, you know, you could do Chill Clip on any energy or special weapon and get the same effect as Tinasha's. What makes it so special in this regard? Well, let's give you an example of probably the most commonly used weapon for Chill Clip, which is Riptide. Riptide can accomplish the exact same thing, however, Riptide shoots much slower. So, technically speaking, Tinasha's can just get off more shots faster, which means freezing enemies that much faster. Tinasha's also has significantly more ammo reserves than something like Riptide or Deliverance or probably any other special energy weapon out there that has Chill Clip on it. In conclusion, is Tinasha's Mastery worth grinding for if you have the willpower for it? Absolutely. And I think that over time, this weapon is just going to get more and more popular as we're going to phase out the Episode 2 artifact mods, which means that we're going to lose concussive reload, which means GLs won't have a free weekend on demand and free reloads for your stowed weapons. When that's gone, this weapon will just start shining more and more, as it'll be the default option in your kinetic slot for various reasons. But hey, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Meta? Not meta? You agree with Air Trigger and Deconstruct? Maybe you like something else? You let me know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this breakdown video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave Chill Clip as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.